What is the most unexpected out of the blue thing your partner has ever done during sex? Was about 2 millimeters away from entering this one girl, and she belts out, "Oh, take me to the moon." Internally, I was laughing my ass off while my dick seemed like it hit a patch of Instasoft. As she was a virgin, I felt terrible blaming her for my sudden lack of boner. I simply told her it was performance anxiety and fell on my own sword flaccid noodle. He said, in Nigel Thornberry's voice, "Oh, Aluushka, I am arriving." It was so awkward, but I could not stop laughing. Smashing. Yes, they were. My girlfriend is a talker, however. At one point, mid-gasping orgasm, I always assumed I did have a wide variety of sexual partners, but if this is what you do, then I do not see it as a high priority. It was like having sex with an auctioneer. I once dated a guy who giggled when he finished. That was definitely unexpected the first time we had sex. I do this sometimes and it makes my girlfriend very self-conscious. Duck in dopamine man. I came home to my girlfriend in a Princess Leia slave outfit one time, and I was so excited I could not stop giggling. She got really self-conscious and threw it in the trash. Edit, sorry everyone. I just realized how poorly I worded this. Girlfriend was wearing the slave outfit, not me. I am a big dumb. Why not explain? You just let her think that it was a turn off. I explained I was just nerding out and giggling out of excitement, but she did not believe me. She fell asleep. We were absolutely hammered and had both been up for about 22 hours at that point, so it is understandable, but to have her just go unresponsive while I am inside her did not exactly help my ego. This is like 20% of the drunk as duck sex I have with my wife. I outweigh her by like 80 pounds, but she matches me drink for drink. Once she passes out, I just grab a titty and beat off. She slapped my ass and said, "Whose pussy is this?" It was our first time and I was not sure if it was hers or mine, so I ignored her. She did it again, but this time she pinched my nipples and screamed, "Answer me." Having a 50-50 chance, I said it was my pussy. Afterwards she says that is right, it is your pussy. Do not forget it. 7 years later, it is still my pussy. LOL. Edit. Thanks, kind giver of the Golden Pussy Award. I was not even there and I felt intimidated. We were having a very heavy make-out session before bed, not unusual and usually led into much more playful, naughty, sexy things, provided we did not draw out the making out. We had been going at it for a few minutes and things were starting to get just a little bit more heated, hand shifting around, etc. Then he just stops. Nothing. Figure maybe he had to catch his breath or I did shift it and cut off his circulation or something. I wait a minute. Try and kiss him again. No response. I say his name and poke him. No response. Then I realize his breathing pattern has shifted. He is fallen asleep in the middle of making out. At that point I say screw it and go to sleep as well. The next morning, he did not remember a thing. My boyfriend wakes up in the middle of the night and just starts randomly making out with me and then turns around and goes back to sleep before I can even process what's going on. It's so weird. And then the next day he would not remember a thing. My boyfriend does this, but it is not just making out. He will start to say really filthy things that he would not normally say. Then I get into it and he rolls over and goes to sleep, which makes me so angry. In the morning I get mad at him for it and he never remembers a thing. Edit sex zoomnia. Got it. Oh my god. Yes, I will be getting all hot and bothered and I am usually like, okay, let us do this, and then he wakes up and he is like, babe, what are you doing? I am going back to sleep, and so I am just left like, WTF, you better wake up and do me, damn it. Him just left like, WTF, you better wake up and do me, damn it. I am so conflicted right now. Would I want this? Would I not want it? On the one hand, sex, but on the other hand, sleep. Was once having sex with my doggy style and in front of us was a mirror. I waved at her through the mirror and she laughed so hard that she pissed all over my dick and the bed. Edit, holy crap. Looks like I am getting a second golden shower. Thanks guys. She just broke down crying. And it was not just a few tears, but a full-blown crying. I held her tight telling her if everything was alright, but she still cried for the next 10 minutes. This was during fairly vanilla sex and we have done a lot rougher BDSM stuff before, so it was confusing. I asked her if she forgot her safe word. No, Did I hurt you? No. What made you cry? I do not know. It is a mystery to this day and she cannot figure it out either. My wife used to do this frequently, less often nowadays. I just sit there and pet her head. She is not sad, nothing's wrong, no weird sexual hang-ups, just a thing. She always seems a little nicer for like the next 24 hours. 2. My ex used to do this after really intense or emotional sex, or strong orgasms. It took me a while to recognize it as a good thing. I think the sex sometimes just opened the emotional floodgates. This has happened to me a few times. My orgasms were really intense and just did not end. Suddenly I will be laughing and crying and telling my husband not to stop whatever he is doing. Now I initiate sex by asking him to make me cry. Edit great. My highest rated comment is about my husband making me cry during sex. My then fiancé called me directly after work one night, completely hammered after visiting a friend that lived a few floods down from us, and waiting with her Hitachi one for me to get home. I hurried my ass back to the apartment, and found her ready for action. She claws off all my clothes, and starts to ride me like it is the Kentucky Derby. We finish at the same time, which is always amazing, but she kept coming, and coming hard. She arched back, and flopped straight forward, luckily right beside my head. She came so hard she passed out. After a few minutes had passed, she woke up, climbed off of me, and wandered into the kitchen for some water. Keep in mind, she is very drunk, like, blackout drunk. She decides she is suddenly tired after her drink, so she climbs up and lays down on a partial wall we had separating the living room and kitchen. Naked, I kept an eye on her for a little while, then went to get something out of the bedroom. I hear a loud thud, and a whimpered out. There she was on the floor. She must have landed pretty gracefully because she just ended up with a little bruise on her hip from the fall. I help her up, apologizing, but suddenly, she does not care about fall she just took. No number. Now she has to check the mail in the lobby of the big apartment complex. Naked, I convince her that this is a terrible idea, but now, she is not interested in the mail. She is interested in the mail. It is round 2. She starts making out with me, dragging me back down the hall to the bedroom, pushes me on the bed, and starts to ride me again. She comes again like crazy. She did the arch back again, but, this time, she hung there while I held her up. A few seconds of silence tick by. When she let us out a rattling snore, she passed out from an orgasm, again, and that is the night my daughter was conceived. My ex had apparently read in Cosmo that guys like to have their assholes finger blasted, so, one night, she is giving me a blowjob and decided to give me the all sneaky finger. I lurched forward and accidentally shoved my dick down her throat. She puked, then I puked. We never spoke of it again. I had a guy pour a bottle of water over me during sex because it is getting too hot. I was not impressed because it was my bed that got soaked, but the sex was hot so I continued and later slept in the puddle. My boyfriend was eating me out when out of nowhere he blew a shit ton of air into my vagina and it scared me. I jumped and pushed all the air out, misting the poor guy's face. I laughed so hard at him, though I am not proud to say that I know what a balloon feels like now. The first time I ended up in bed with an old duck buddy, he asked me to don a pair of boxing gloves and punch him across the face and chest. This in itself was not really unexpected as we had already talked about how that kind of thing turned him on. The unexpected part was how much I got off on it. I discovered a new kink that night. Dear Strong Bad Throwaway because she knows my username, but weirdest thing has got to be her waking up on penetration, which she initiated. I knew she sleepwalks and talks. Apparently she ducks too. She woke up confused, on top of me, worked out what was going on, shrugged and just continued. This has happened more than once, although I have gotten better at noticing when she is asleep in the dark, and waking her up first. It is not a regular thing, maybe 4 times in a 7-year relationship. Definitely weird, although not as funny as when I woke up in the middle of the night to see her waiting for the lift in front of the sliding wardrobe. Edit compulsory RIP inbox. Not replying to everyone individually, but yes, she has spoke to a therapist and her sleepwalking has almost completely stopped. I would not say completely as it is one of those things that can come back, I think. But she is fine for now. Unlike a lot of replies, she is pretty stupid when asleep, as in cannot work out a doorknob let alone drive a car. That being said, see above, no, she did not cry rape, ever. She knew she sleepwalked before we started dating, so she kinda just went with it. Guess I am lucky though. No babies were made in the process of this story, thankfully. She needs to see a doctor. My buddy sleepwalks. A month ago he got up, drove his car into a ravine 6 blocks away from his place. Yes, he survived. This was me, not him, but my boyfriend used to tell me that I was not loud enough. He could not tell when I came, so he did not know when to stop. So, the next time I came I yelled announcement I have orgasmed, please step aside and allow the doors to close. Username checks out. I was trying to be all sexy and hold her from behind. Apparently, I held too hard around her neck and choked her a bit. She asked me if I was doing it on purpose. I started apologizing, saying I am so sorry, I did not mean to. Are you okay? She said it really turned her on, and that is the story of how I discovered my excess choking fetish by complete accident. Also, remember people, pressure on the sides, not the front. Back in 2001 my girlfriend had apparently seen the Cripple Fight episode of South Park and started saying filthy things during sex in Jimmy Valmarez's voice. That stopped me cold, but she would not stop doing the voice. Pretty funny. Edit. She is no longer my girlfriend. We broke up 14 years ago. So this was not me obviously, but I heard it going down. My roommate and his GF were the type who would always make noise while they were going at it, and I was obviously never the type to complain. I did just put on my headphones, turn on Spotify and play some games for a while because awkward conversation would probably kill me both literally and figuratively. One time however, I took my headphones off to go and get something to eat. They are still going at it. Then he makes a single, really loud ma-oo-oo-oo, like a cow. Everything stops. I can hear her ask what the duck, like any sensible person would, and he immediately stops laughing. Long story short, she left and they did not speak for about a week. It is not what the girl I was with did, but I had ended up at the girl's house both very drunk and started hooking up. For some reason that soon became very clear, there was a mattress on the floor of her bedroom, so he ended up on it. About 10 minutes later, drunk me is balls deep doing doggy and just looking around the room when I realized there were 2 very quiet, yet very awake and attentive, people in the bed, watching us. Somehow I was not able to finish. Made my excuses and left. Edit. Sorry guys, am British so fell asleep and just woke up. I think she was illegally subletting a mattress in the room. The whole house and area were sketchy as duck, so would not be surprised. My ex and I was watching a film at the cinemas when she started caressing my leg, unzipped my pants and started giving me a hug. All the while she was watching the movie. She was there giving me a hand job while nonchalantly asking me little bits about the movie like nothing else was happening. When I was about to come, she blew me and took it all in. I have never been so turned on in my life. I started becoming more adventurous with risk sex after that. Hallways, parks, hotel balconies, at the pool, in the car, etc. You ducking name it. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.